yesterday. Quit raining now. There's downtown Cancun way back there in the distance. And then this is the come up, and this is the hotel zone. It's the lagoon between the hotel zone and the ocean. The bar comes up to the hotels. All the shops out there. It's a not very wide sandbar we're sitting on. The geek playing with himself, it looks like, as usual. Brad. Got stairs coming down from the hotel. Jim. The hotel we stayed in. Oh, the wind's whipping. And a little cloudy down there.
You filming?
Yep. Whoa, there goes the windshield wiper.
Mike is filming and his butt is tickled pink.
Pinkly tickled.
And Brad's in that red Volkswagen. We're on our way down to the moon.
In the rain.
In the rain with some sun shining through. Your typical tropical rainforest. Alligators all running all over the place.
And vultures.
And naked women is all we can handle. It is Sunday at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, we could try and make it to church. You know what time church starts Sunday?
3, I think.
I can hear just a lot of people jumping for that one, Ann.
Am I the only one that interested?
Oh, I wouldn't mind.
There's 2.
I won't understand a word they say.
But I really liked it when we went to Mexico. Do you remember when we went with Lynn?
Alright.
Here's Aquaman. I can't see in the window.
Yeah.
Little shops all down the street. All over the place.
Okay. I want you to do something. We're here at Aquamall. Filming. Ray, Brad, online, getting our tickets.
Paying again, paying again.
Doreen, wanting something done with her hair. Don't we all? That's why I'm filming, so my hair's not on video.
Oh, thanks.
There's the
Hey,
the well,
pull it.
probably for the whole state. Huh? Here's our guide with the guys. Neffy?
No, that's somebody else.
No,
I mean, you might think, perhaps you might have another ideas, different ideas. So, I'm going to give you my personal points of view. Well, first, the word Tulum means place or land surrounded by stones. If you turn around, you are going to see a portion of a big wall, which was built all around of this city. This is the western side. Over there before those big trees, you can see little bit about the southern version of the wall, and over there, way up there, you can see the northern side of the wall. On the eastern side, there wasn't a wall like this because that's the ocean side. So the water is just behind that big building called El Castillo, and there is a cliff behind of that building. Salud, Spanish. Bless you in English. Salud. Okay, so behind of that building there is a cliff which is 12 feet high, and that was a natural protection. So these people didn't have a reason to build a wall on the eastern side. There was a natural one already. Talking about the reason why the wall was built about this city, according to the archaeologists, was to protect the place, was for protection. So if we try to to make a relation between what the archaeologists have said and what we read in the Book of Mormon, we can say that Tulum might be one of the cities which were built during the last periods of the Book of Mormon. I'm talking about the times of the prophet Moroni. Remember that in that period of time, because they were fighting against the Lamanites, many of the cities were protected by walls like this one. This is my personal point of view. And then about the time when Tulum was built, we have two different points of view. For a group of archaeologists, Tulum was built on the 1200s AD, 1,200 years AD after Christ. So if this is true, Tulum is not included in the history or in the period of time after history in the Book of Mormon, of the Book of Mormon. And the second point of view, other group of archaeologists said that Tulum was built between the 4th and the 5th centuries AD, and it's little more related with the history of the Book of Mormon. So, as a member of the church, I believe the second one, which explained that Tulum was built between the 4th and the 5th century AD, after Christ. So, almost at the end of the history of the Book of Mormon. And there was a gentleman, an archaeologist working here in 1974. His name was Arthur G. Miller. He did a lot of research on the ocean side with those ceramics stuffs that he found on the ocean side, and he proved that the coast side was inhabited since the 200s AD, 200 years AD. So that's the reason why, as a member of the church, I believe that Tulum was built between the 4th and the 5th century AD. So it's one of the last cities built perhaps by the peoples of Moroni. It's the reason why you can see the fins of the wall around of this place. Okay. Then when the Spaniards arrived, it was in the 1500s, 1511 to be exact. They said that the first city that they found was a walled city on the edge of the sea. And obviously, this is the only one. So the Spaniards were, on the edge of the sea. So the Spaniards were talking about this place, about this city in their chronicles. The Spaniard chronicles were written between the 1500s and the 1800s. Okay, so they say that that city was still inhabited. They found a group of people living inside and a big group of people living outside. Outside, and the Spaniards said that the walls of the buildings were painted in red color. And you still see a little red upon the walls of some of the buildings in this place. So the splendor of Tulum was so beautiful. There were wall paintings, carvings decorating the walls of the buildings inside and outside. Actually, the same Spaniards said that Tulum was more wonderful than Sevilla, a town in Spain, in the 1500s. But there is something very interesting in this. What the Spaniards said. They say that they found a small group of people living inside of the wall and a big group of people living outside of the wall. So, I guess the peoples inside, the peoples living inside of the wall were perhaps the peoples with religious and political positions. And the peoples living outside of the wall obviously were the different social classes. And then we have 5 entrances along the wall, one on the front side, the western side, 2 more entrances on the southern side, and 2 more entrances on the northern side. Okay, so the entrances were used to come in when there was a very important period to worship, to trade, or in case of a war, or a battle, was the time when the peoples outside, were the times when the peoples outside could come in. But inside lived, I guess, the important peoples like the priest, the high priest, the governor, and the Badab was the chief of the army. These 3 persons were the most important persons in the Mayan society. Mayan society. So, and then in Tulum we can find also the architectural influence of the Toltecs. For your information, the Toltecs came from the highlands of Mexico. More or less 1000 years AD was the time when they invaded the Yucatan Peninsula. According to the point of view of archaeologists, the second group of archaeologists, they said that Tulum was built in 1200s, so it was built by a mixture of 2 kind of peoples, Mayas and Toltecs. And it's true, we can find elements which belong to the architectural characteristic of the Toltecs. But as Arthur H. Miller said, the western side of Yucatan, the coast side, was inhabited since the 200s AD. So Tulum has the Toltec influence, but it doesn't prove that it was built on that period of time, the 1200s. Why? Because it's true that the Toltecs came from the highlands of Mexico and they invaded the peninsula of Yucatan. The Toltecs were more warlike people, more aggressive people, warlike people. Were not so peaceful like the Mayans, were more aggressive or warlike than the Mayans. So we have, I would say that in Tulum there is a Mayan period without the influence of the Toltecs, and a Mayan Toltec period when they were invaded by the Toltecs. So I'm trying to give you the 2 points of view, so you can have perhaps a better idea about the place that you're visiting.
That's great.
Okay, and the archaeologists discovered this place by the first time in 1841. 2 archaeologists, one from England and the other one from New York City. Well, when we say archaeologists, we are not saying professional archaeologists. They were obviously educated people in the field, but no, they were not archaeologists with degrees or titles. One of them, Stephen from New York, was a lawyer. A lawyer in New York. And the other one, Catherwood, was a British architect. And I guess they came looking for archaeological stuffs. Was very popular in those days. In my personal point of view, they were the classical image of Indiana Jones in those days.
Yeah, just looking at them.
Exactly.
Have fun.
Exactly.
It's like what we do.
In those days. Well, talking about those days, I mean, a guy with a shirt and classical hat looking for archaeological stuffs in the jungle, which was very popular in those days. But was the time when this place was discovered, and was the time when the excavations started into it. So in general, there is the 30% of reconstruction and 70% is, I mean, still original.
So there has been some reconstruction of the area.
Yes, yes, obviously, because when these peoples left behind this place, that kind of jungle, which is not very dense, but I mean, which is not very tall, but it's very dense, took over the whole thing for a long period of time until these two archaeologists discovered the place. So the roots of the trees, the bushes did lots of damage to the walls of the structures.
It's the wall going all around the city.
Inside, the graves, I mean the walls of the graves inside were painted in red. The bodies of the peoples before they were buried, they were painted in red. The stuffs which were placed together with the peoples when they died, they were painted in red too, symbolizing that they were prepared to enter into the paradise, into the
So
life.
why
of
is
the
red that symbol?
Well, the red is a symbol used by the Mayans. I mean, it is a color. It was a color used by the Mayans to represent fertility, paradise, sunrise. It's always following the idea about the creation and the paradise.
Is it?
Peoples were buried facing east, steps on the east side. They would believe it that at one time in the future they would have the chance or opportunity to walk out of the grave. And the shape of the grave is the shape of a cross. The shape of a cross. Okay, do you have questions about this grave? One big one, okay, we'll just count 13 different graves.
The platform there is where people were buried.
Right up there on the ledge. Great.
A big lizard over the ledge. Handsome little guy, isn't he?
Just posing there, huh? Stick
So,
out your
did he tell
tongue.
us what this building?
He was son of Hunabku, and Hunabku was the god associated to the north side. These two gods were obviously good ones, and then there were two evil gods. Ahpuch, the god of death, was associated to the south, and Kising was the version of the devil in the Mayan religion. He was associated to the western side. And then there were four colors associated to the four compass points: red to the east, black to the west, yellow to the south, and white to the north. Representing paradise, pureness, disease, and underworld. Black. So it's, I mean, it's very clear, but you have to be very familiar with the doctrine of the Book of Mormon if you want to understand the meaning and the idea of the Mayans. So you have to think like the Mayans in order to understand the doctrine of the Mayans. Which was created out of the dust of the earth. But this kind of human race was very weak and blind, so they were destroyed. The second kind of human race was created out of a kind of tree, wood. But they were blind and they didn't have respect for their gods. And at that time, the gods sent the waters to the earth, and all of them were destroyed. This is the version of the Mayans about the flood. And then the third creation of human race was created out of the corn, out of the stuff made out of corn.
Meal.
Exactly, maize. And that was the creation with intelligence, with feelings, with respect for their gods. And after that, you're going to read that Hunapku is not going to be very, shall we say, mentioned. They forgot Hunapku, and they always talk about Itzamna, who was son of Hunapku. And supposedly Itzamna was the chief of 13 gods in the heavens. 13 gods in the heavens. So how many were the apostles of Christ? 12, and him? 13. This is what we call in the language Maya the Osh Lahun Tiku. Osh is 3, Lahun is 10, and Tiku is level. So 13 levels in the heavens with a god for each one of these levels. So there were 13 gods in the heavens. So, I mean, there is a lot of things which prove that this is true. That the Book of Mormon is true. But you have to be very familiar with the doctrine of the Book of Mormon and with archaeology if you want to understand.
Oh, we just tell you.
The idea. And in that way you cannot make mistakes. Because I said at the beginning, sometimes there are Mormon guides and they try to sometimes to mix what they believe, what they feel with the doctrine of the church. For your information, we have archaeologists in the church. They are working every day in research about the Book of Mormon. And still nobody's going to tell you for sure this was Sarahem, this was the land of bounty, this was these things. So, but we can at least understand the doctrine of these peoples if we are familiar with both points of view. From this way of this floor of this building. 1946, archaeologists found 7 different skeletons. All of them were high priests.
How do you know they're high priests? Was
Well,
their clothing?
No, they were in the chest of those skeletons. Archaeologists found pectorals made out of precious stones. And pectoral. No, pectorals. I mean, you know what? Something like the ephod used by the Israelites. I mean, something hanging on the chest, made out of precious stones.
And they all had the same one?
All of them. So,
Hole is where the grave is.
If a priest was released, he would still be buried.
well, if he was buried between the, before the 52 years, obviously he was buried in this place. That's what I
After that,
guess.
he held no calling at all.
He has no calling. He was a regular member of the society. Okay.
What's inside that grave?
What stone?
They found like whatever they put in the barrel. And in one of the chronicles you can read that the Mayans in the 1800s were all by what he says they were handsome. And makes sense because the skeletons were found in the grave. And then, that's what archaeologists are saying. And then the reason why today the Mayan descendants are very short is because after 350 years of the Spanish conquest, eating every day 3 tortillas, beans, salt, and meat sometimes, the nutrition. Before the Spanish conquest, the nutrition was really good among these people. You know, eating every day fish, honey, because was one of the main industries of these people. Honeybee hives, honeybee, and vegetables, fruits. So there was a nice, good nutrition before the arrival of the Spanish. But later, as they were conquered and they were used like slaves, their genes were seriously affected. It's like today. Today you can see I have a brother. He's 13 years old, and he's 5 centimeters taller than me. It's like 3 inches or 4 inches taller than me. Why? Because this guy has better nutrition. All of us work nutrition. So he has a better nutrition.
He's a spoiled brat then.
Not if you're talking about the temple work today. No.
They cut out part.
Now let me tell you something important. You know what's the name of this dispensation?
Fullness of time.
Why?
Because it's when everything culminates.
Exactly. So my question is, this, I mean, the Mayans have temple work back in those days. It wasn't the
Different temple.
That's what you're saying. Exactly. So they
Wasn't
have
the fullness of times then.
Exactly. It's just like the ordinances or the ceremonies in the temple of Solomon, son of David. Or not the same ones. I mean, or perhaps the half.
Line
Of
upon
the
line and precept upon precept. Here a little and there a little.
And they
So get
wouldn't,
more.
they wouldn't do anything in the way of vicarious work for the dead because it wasn't part of that generation's calling, that dispensation.
So inside what the archaeologists say that they did were animal sacrifices. They sacrificed jaguars, deers, and all kind of wild birds. And they burned offerings from the field, which sounds familiar. But if this was built 400 years AD, I mean that's something controversial because remember that Christ
like something
came.
Cain and Abel should be doing.
So they return back perhaps to the first principles of the law of Moses before the coming of Christ. But you know, in America, even centuries before the coming of Christ, these peoples were keeping the law of Moses just because that was the law. But they knew that they understood that the law cannot save the human race. That was the Christ, the only one savior of the human race. So this is very controversial what archaeologists have said. However, it's more related, more familiar to what we know, what we believe about these people. Now take a look to the corners of this building. You can see a couple of big human faces. If you come closer, you will have hands. Exactly.
Big black one.
Did they eat him when they sacrificed him?
No, it was burned.
Burned it.
That's the part. Some faces carved in there.
Very bad.
The more powerful the animal, the greater the sacrifice.
Exactly. Now take a look to the corners of this building. As I told you, they are decorated by human faces. In this corner you can see the first one. The opposite corner, the same thing. But that one, it's facing south. It shows the corners of its mouth downward. This one, it's facing north. It shows the corners of its mouth straight. This was painted in blue as an extra color associated before they were buried. They were painted in red. So that one, it's representing the god of death, and this one the god of life, who were obviously eternal enemies.
What are the three steps?
In the Mayan book, called it the Popol Book, you can read it at the beginning. There were only three gods, creators of all things.
The one up, what's the upside down?
Yes, the one which is in the central part of the building, it's facing down. I mean, its feet are facing up and its head is facing down. But you know, this is a very important symbolism. I mean, this figure has a very important symbolism. If you go to Chichen Itza, you will find that the snake, the feathered serpent, which is used to represent the Quetzalcoatl, or the white god that they were expecting for, it's always in upside down position. Its tail is facing up and its head facing down. And you can see always that the mouth of this snake is open. So for the Mayas, the feathers were used to represent the heavens, and the snake, the earth. So the reason why the feathered serpent, it's facing down and its mouth open, and it has its mouth up, it's representing the revelation, the communication between the heavens and the earth, or the God which came from the heavens to the earth. That's the idea.
So that's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost?
That might be a representation. They didn't worship these figures. And this is something that
They didn't worship those though?
perhaps during the earlier periods they didn't, because there is a commandment.
Commandment
Not to worship idols or statues. You can see the statues, you can have statues representing Christ or the Father or some of Noah or Moroni or Joseph Smith, but you don't have to worship them. Why? Because it's a piece of stone. It's a piece of stone. So these three were I guess, the most important gods of the
It's like
Mayans.
having a picture in our house.
So during the first of the time that this place was built, you said it was around the time of Moroni.
Exactly.
These-
That's my
th-
personal point of view.
may very well be. I feel that way too.
Remember that there was a land given to the Amalekites. That land was on the edge of the sea. Uh-huh.
These people then were fair-skinned and white. These were Nephites.
That's what is. Well, we don't know how
Possibly.
how if they were white
Right.
or not, but they were very familiar with the doctrine of the Book of Mormon, obviously. So they were Nephites.
Well,
Yes, showing that
When did they work all this
2 years ago, peoples were decorating the wall paintings with modern wall paintings, graffiti.
Can we go in that one?
Well, I don't think we went in, but you guys.
Inside there is a beautiful wall painting
Yeah.
showing the representation of the only one Mayan goddess. This is something also very important because in the Mayan religion there was only one goddess. How many goddesses? I mean, how many virgins were there in the Christian religion? Only one. If the Spaniards created thousands of them, call it virgins. And since according to the point of view of the Bible, there is only one virgin. Her name is Mary. And that's no more. Why? Because that way we are accepting the point of view of the church in Europe. You know, Mexicans are very Catholic, and they worship Guadalupe. But this was a version which came together with the Spaniards. Do you know what's the meaning of the word wadi in Arabic language? It's a place with palm trees, water, like an oasis. But the word in Arabic language is wadi. And do you know what's the meaning of lupus in Latin? Wolf. Wadi lupus. A river where the wolves drink water. In the powerful hands of its aromatic creator of life. Wherever you go, you will find the same representation to genetics.
What about the pictures in there? Were there different colored? They put different.
No,
color on the
inside they
skin?
use it. No, inside they use it only one color, blue. But in the case of Tulum, if you go to Yaxchilan and Bonampak, you can see perfectly the difference between two kind of people. You can see a kind of peoples which are, I guess, white peoples because they don't have an extra color on their bodies, and you see the other kind of people to the left hand side, they are black people.
Right in front of the building, you can see a big stone.
will they let us in some of these places, Chichen Itza?
And Batat, the word Batat means chief of the army. So the three most important chiefs. It's just like in the history of the Book of Mormon. There was a high priest, like Alma, who was a king, and there was a chief of the army. Right, it's the same idea. So this is something which confirms that perhaps what we know, what I have said, might be true. Then in front of us we have the building with the figure in upside down position in its central middle. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Above the doorway. Yes, and if you come to Tulum, on March 21st, September 22nd, if you stand, I would say right here, you can see at the sunrise how the sun beams pass through that tiny square window inside of this building. Equinox. You read in Helaman chapter 3.
What would they line that up with?
With this other building right here, I guess. And if you read Helaman chapter 3, you can read that these people knew that the earth was in the central part of the universe. You can read in that chapter that they knew that the earth used to go around of the sun. And if you like to build something like this, you have to. No, that's my house. But let me tell you something very important.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
The Polynesian dude. They're waiting for their Hawaiian brother.
Believe it or not, the Hawaiians were part of the Hawaiians. Sweden.
Which one looks like the eye of a needle?
The first one, not the second.
Oh, okay.
Where are we?
Well, the sunrise of April 6.
Corner of which building? What am I looking
First,
the corner opening. There's a big square.
the sun
one that closes at
passed, I mean
Okay.
the sunbeams passed through this opening. And see that tiny hole on the bottom?
The bottom
Yeah.
hall.
April 6th, the sunbeams passed. Just on that day, got light. I mean, it's illuminated.
So the light shines through the fence into the hall and lights up the room on April 6th.
But it's only one day in a year.
I wonder why it's that day.
You know.
Special woman at that time, maybe.
Okay, come this way.
Yeah.
So that's how we say it in English. How do you say it in Spanish?
Qué maravillosa coincidencia. And about the Mayans is that they were always very peaceful people. Is that true? If you have the chance to read a book called Blood of Kings by Linda Shield from Amarillo University, the United States, he said that after the 3rd century, after the end of the 3rd century, the Mayans became very aggressive peoples, and they started with human sacrifices for everything. After the 3rd century. At the end of the 3rd century. And if you read the last chapters of Moroni, you can read that at that time Lamanites and Nephites used to sacrifice people and they ate them to prove that they were more than the others. So the same archaeologists are proving, teaching all of these things every day, but they don't have faith to accept the real history of the Greco-Roman world that's on the Book of Mormon.
So the 3rd century
80.
was
The
what?
end.
Was this 400 years after Christ
Exactly.
in the Book of Mormon?
More or less 400 years ago. We have lots of problems with the dates because nobody's going to tell us
Right.
what year.
Exactly.
Say that this is supposedly the most important building, but in my personal point of view, the most important building is that one with a little tiny square window inside where
Yeah.
the light comes.
Yeah.
So this is what the doctor wanted to word saunas. Do you know what's the word sauna? Sauna? Steam bath? Yes, so they heated stones outside, then they would put the stones inside, and then the cold water will have the steam. And the building has 28 steps. How many days takes the moon cycle?
And
28.
for your cycle.
In Chichen Itza?
Right.
Chichen Itza, 28. Chichen Itza, the building has 91 steps in each one of the 4 sides. So if you do multiply 4 times 91, you come out with 364. Last platform on top, 365. So everything that these people built was associated
Was time.
Calendar.
calendars, religion, astronomy, all of this stuff.
What's this little building right there?
Was a sundial
Oh, that's the sundial.
with 4 instruments facing the 4 compass points.
So they know when it's winter,
Equinox.
summer, spring, and fall on that one?
Exactly. And perhaps the time of the day. And at the top you can see the same 3 figures, the one in upside down position in
Be
the
awful
central
heavy to wear
niche.
on your wrist.
And then 2 more figures in both sides. One of them was stolen because there were precious stones on the eyes and cloths of these figures. So this is the religious section. Here nobody lived, were places to worship. The people from outside, they could come in when there was something
In other words, the temple walls.
Exactly. But to give you an idea.
In your opinion, then, 3 figures, do they mean Father, Son, Holy Ghost, or Adam, Michael, and Ellen?
I'm not sure about it. I need to pray a lot in order to.
And it may not be all that important either.
Perhaps. There were 3 figures represent celebrated the birth of Christ inside of that book.
Yeah.
There is nothing.
What are those articles above represent?
Yes, for astronomy, but the one which is only the one which is to the right. This is the end.
Oh, okay. I didn't know whether they run.
Where is it? It's up there by.
Thank you for your.
Oh, I see it.
Walk over there.
There's a horse.
Where those people are, those tables
Well,
Oh, it's got horns too.
we can call them
By movie.
So that proves that there was some sort of an animal like a horse here with the Maya. Here's Tulum by the ocean.
Look at that beach, is that gorgeous?
The walled city. There's my beautiful wife, Diane.
You can film a little here if you want. You know, get that close on it.
Wave to me. Talk to me.
Come down here.
I was just going to tell you what
I got that already. Listen, we want to hear Greg.
Helaman said that they were protected from people, the enemy coming from this way because of the reef out there, and there was only one way in from that reef to this area. And they lit a fire in that one and that one. They lit little fires, and so if that ship couldn't see both fires, they couldn't guide themselves in. And Helaman said there was some shipwrecks out, you know, a bunch of them out there because people that were trying to conquer them didn't know that, and so they when they went fishing or whatever, they would go out, and if they'd see those fires, they knew how to come back in.
Navigation points. Boy, it's beautiful here. 10,000 pesos a piece for Greg. Hey, consider that cereal. I'm gonna hold you for when I close my eye, I get dizzy. This is the beach at Tulum. There was the lighthouse. Don't turn away.
From a building right now that has
Probably on a grave site.
And then
The dead man party.
There's another one right here.
There's some building here.
Or an old foundation for a house. Yeah, it must be because it had a big bathroom. That's the Shih Tzu?
Ball field.
The ball court.
Ball court have more fights.
Ball court.
Is that true?
It's ball.
Oh, the ball.
Played like kind of a version.
Oh, that was that. Is that that F ball?
Yeah, only one died.
Or lost died, one of the two. Go ahead. We'll shut him up.
Sorry.
I don't want to work with you. That's not working.
What?
They were the ones that came and took over the mine. They were more warlike people.
So they taught him this game.
That game was like a soccer. They played that. They were like soccer played that.
They taught the Mayans. The Toltecs.
Oh yeah, actually. The Toltecs played that with the Mayans. So the one who lost, the captain who lost game lost his head. The loser was killed by the winner. Or the winner was killed by the loser. We have two different versions. Would be the winner, would be the loser. We don't know for sure who was killed. Okay.
Somebody died.
Somebody died. Anyway, somebody lost his head. Really. But they were the ones that came and brought the idea of human sacrifice. They were more like people, more bloodthirsty people than the Maya. So that temple as well was built in memory of a man with a red beard. We call it bearded man. Who was this man with a red beard? Who was probably a Viking. Was a Viking. They think that the Vikings discovered America long before Columbus. Right. So that was built to his memory. How long they took to build that temple, we don't know. They took probably 52 years. A complete one for each month. I want to count 9 of them. See? 9 of them over there. 9. There are 9. How about 9 on the other side? 9 on the other side. 18. 18 times 20. 360 and 5 days. They had 5 days left over. 5 days. They had a short month with 5 days, which they didn't work. They were unlucky. We call it unlucky. They had just one month with 5 days. A short month with 5 days. They didn't have leap what you call leap year. No leap year. Remember that in our calendar, which is the Gregorian calendar, we have every 4 years we got an extra day, or which makes 29, which is February. In February, we get an extra day, leap year. So that represents the calendar. Equinoxes. March 21st and September supposed to be what? These are supposed to be what? Blood coming out or squirted out from the winter in shape of what? Shape of snakes. That represents what? Wisdom. Or fertility. Fertility.
Whoa, sorry about
Here.
Anywhere in the world?
Soccer.
Like basketball, something like that, like basketball. Something like that.
Except the winners and the losers
Combination was
don't
a
get killed.
combination of
This is red bearded guy.
Fertility. Okay.
Wasn't the snake the Mayan?
So important. Represent water. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Water. Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is the ball court. You get the little circle thing up there.
Yeah.
They had to hit a little ball about the size of a soccer.
The tail.
Yeah.
See the tail? See the number of raptors?
So it's a rattlesnake?
3 rattles.
Okay, let's
There are rattlesnakes in this
Oh,
park.
we have that right here.
What are we looking at?
Rattlesnake.
Somebody died that time, and he was buried here. He was buried with a lot of people. It was a common grave.
Cemetery.
This
Oh,
was
this
for
is
many.
a-
Oh,
where-
whole bunch in one
Well, how
hole?
much you want that? For
In
many,
one
for
hole.
many.
Is there any connection between Tulum and Chichen Itza with the people going back and forth? Or
Oh,
there's-
the village, they had a road.
they did have a road from Tulum to Chichen Itza. So there was a...
From Cobat to...
Common grave.
Yeah, look at
Oh,
There's
These are happy skulls over here.
no cavities. No cavities.
No cavities.
skulls.
That's exciting.
no cavities. They didn't have sugar.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's a happy head.
Killed in battle, fighting. He was buried here. But you know what the Aztecs used to do with the prisoners? That's why I was telling the Aztecs were all one like people, one blood. Right? You know what they used to do with the prisoners? Skin them.
Skin them.
Then they used to work skin to get power. What to get power from him. But no, they didn't eat the whole heart. I mean the complete heart, just a little bit of the heart. I was just to get power. I was just to get power from the heart. The heart, when the heart was how can I say, beating.
Oh,
So it
yeah.
was beating, alive.
They bite the heart while it was
They
beating.
ate the heart when it was beating.
What's the difference between the Toltecs and the Aztecs?
The Aztecs and the Toltecs, they were related. The Mayans, they were different kind of people. They were ones that came from Guatemala, and the Aztecs came from Mexico.
Worse.
Well, we don't know if we don't. Come on, like that. Pushing the baby. Up. Over here,
I can relate.
Venus. That must have another name for it. Over here.
The platform of
Because Venus is, as we know, is a great name, Greek name. But the goddess about what? The goddess about love.
Love.
The goddess of right. But this was the star.
Or penis. Muscle of
What was the planet? The brightest star. The brightest star. Over here, we see a triangle over here. This triangle pointing up means always life. How about upside down, pointing down? Means the opposite of what?
Death.
Opposite of life, which is what?
Death.
Death. Two of them joined together. See that diamond shape there?
Uh-huh.
I mean, that represents what? Beginning and end. Life and what? Life and death. Here's a human face over here on the tongue of the snake. We call this forked tongue.
Yeah, can you see that
Forked
snake?
tongue.
The teeth above
Here's a combination of man, snake, and bird. It's
Oh,
a
yeah, look at the
combination of
wings.
3 elements together.
Oh, okay.
Which would be the first element, do you think? you are standing on it, which is what?
Earth.
Earth. Which would be the second element on the earth?
Wind.
Water. Rain,
Water.
water. How about the third element? Would be air, right? Exactly. Air, water, and earth. Three elements together. Fire is not there. Why? How come? Because fire it was considered mortal. Is that right? Yep. Mortal. Those are in what? Immortal. Fire is mortal. The water used to be hot. Diving down there.
We don't like the scuba dive.
Scuba divers, they went down to the bottom. And they found a lot of jewels from the bottom. They found
really?
A lot of things.
Probably from the
From the maiden, from those cross-eyed maiden, cross-eyed birds.
Where are the jewels?
Down in Mexico City, down in Museum.
So they threw
that
the...
was a sort of incense burner. Incense burner. There's a hole on top there. That's what smoke from the incense come out. This was to purify, just pushed into the water.
From the top?
From that carbon.
It used to be higher.
The water used to be higher. That's why she drowned herself. She drowned herself.
Drug up a girl, tied her up for a sacrifice.
They did that whenever they did that. Whenever they did that, they did that for rain. Good
For the cross-eyed
Divers went down on that
That
platform.
must have been, that's right, must have
To
been
the bottom and found
such a
all
great
sorts
honor,
of jewels.
great honor for her. Great honor. Especially for the family, I think. It was a fictional warrior. So those are, I would call those columns memorial columns to the unknown warriors, unknown soldiers, unknown warriors, right. Over here. What do you call it?
Wait a minute, I want to get you.
You would like to know who was sacrificed in this town here?
Yeah.
The one who was sacrificed in this town here was a prisoner from a war. So this was a kind of a punishment for him. How he was sacrificed? He was sacrificed first by breaking his spine. Breaking his spine. As soon as they did that, with the prisoner, somebody came with a knife and took the heart out. Took the living heart out, beaten heart out, while he was alive. They took his heart out while he was alive.
Did they drug this person? Indiana Jones.
While he still was alive. Huh?
Yeah, but did they drug him?
She was probably was dropped. They dropped it probably. We don't know. In other words, must have been very painful. Maybe it was dropped. It was dropped. Probably. That's what we
Spine was broke. Would you still?
No, maybe they ate it. They ate the heart. They ate it. Or maybe they, I'm gonna say, maybe they burned it. They burned it. Maybe they ate it or burned it. We don't know what they did. The only thing that I'm gonna say, the heart was considered a very important vital organ. Still very important.
I kind of want mine.
But it was considered more important. It was a vital organ. It was more important. But the Aztecs, the Aztec word was used to sacrifice people, not the Mayans. The Mayans were more peaceful people. The Aztecs, they were warlike. They were the ones used to take they took the heart out of a prisoner, and they ate the heart while it was beaten, while the heart was beaten. Mouth and beard.
Oh yeah.
It was called him in Aztec language, Quetzalcoatl. And it was called him in Maya language, Kukulkan. Who was that man with a red beard, we don't know. I think the Bible, we read that the Book of Mormon, I think that was Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
When it sounds Jesus Christ. Right, we're gonna come on. Let's take the elevator here. Who wants to take it?
This is the Temple of the Warriors.
Yeah.
We're going up. It's Chuck Mole on top of the Temple of the Warriors.
He's gonna take our picture.
Sorry. We were looking the other way. Porto? Okay. There?
That's the sculpture? For her?
Come on, Diane. That's the one I was.
Sort of that's one. What's up?
Yeah.
Where do you go in?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we can't.
On the
go
other
in.
side, in the other side, left here, in the other side, yeah.
We can't go in here.
Okay.
No, they'll let
This
you
is
go in.
where all
What's in here?
Paintings.
groovy paintings.
There's some murals showing the black people. Those
White
murals
and dark
showing
people.
White and black people.
Oh, really?
They do the Nephites. Nephites, called?
Yeah.
No, we can't go see that.
How do you call them?
Nephites
Nephites?
and
Nephites and
Lamanites, actually. I'm reading. I've been reading that book. That book.
It's a Quetzalcoatl. It has the plumed serpent emblems up above. It has the snake, serpent, mouth, and the man's head. That's representative of Jesus Christ to the Mayans.
The bird stands for air. The snake is water,
Look
and the
at
man is earth.
these are noses. Look at these. Look at these noses on these dudes.
Is that a nose?
Those are noses on these things. This is the, well, think of the Jewish nose. Check that out.
Are those, where are the noses?
Well, nobody will. I don't
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no one can get it. It's not around the
Do they represent people?
I think he said warriors.
Memorial to warriors or something?
More down.
Kind of temple of 1,000 columns. Oh, we're gonna blow off the edge here?
Say what?
Are we gonna blow off the edge?
I'm back here.
It's about straight down. The temple.
These are the kind of stairs Jim tries to get past code, but they just...
Ambassador in Merida. So this was all his property. He bought all his property in $150. And he was the guy who went up there by himself and went down. And he was lucky he found those crypts. I said crypt, is that right? Crypt? Crypt. He found a crypt full of jewels and bones and everything. He took the jewels out and left the bones there. He was more interested in jewels than in bones. He was more interested. And he took
He's not having a security or something.
some of the powers actually, they broke all the stones. Okay?
These
Lots
are
of
all the
damage.
stones.
Like that. Okay, this way.
You can see the red paint on a lot of them.
That one died first, the one he was.
Hieroglyphics inside the
One of the
house
one of the
or temple.
There were two days, there were bones there. That's why it was so
Three
special because they were bones
doors.
together.
All the ceiling
They were bones together.
For the,
married?
No, singles, they were singles. Nice.
says 3
Don't let it that
triplets.
way.
Or maybe
That way, that way.
3 in the Godhead. It's
Simple.
The male thing.
Male thing.
It's a male thing.
Male thing.
A bonding thing.
That's supposed to be one over there. Phallic, called it, phallic symbol. But that one was completely, I mean, it was broken by the Christians, maybe because there was something erotic for them. It was broken, that one. That phallic.
Temple of the Three Brothers.
Phallic symbol was used as a
That's the observatory we're going to be going to.
Isn't it? No, it's Madonna's new album, man. Oh, I thought it was.
sun, when the sun will be strictly overhead. See? What's inside of the observatory, there is what you call a winding staircase, spiral staircase. So that staircase In March 21st at noon, at 12 o'clock, that staircase will be all lit up by the light, by the sun. It was cloudy, they couldn't see. It was cloudy, they couldn't see that. It was cloudy. So, what that's supposed to be, that would indicate the beginning of what is first so that the beginning of spring equinox is when they did what they are all planting. Growing. They didn't know as well. They didn't know how to fertilize the soil. See, no fertilizer. I was reading that I don't know where was this. Maybe the American Indians, they use fish heads because the phosphorus it helps the soil to be fertile.
Yeah.
Fertilize the soil. Fish heads, the phosphorus it helps the soil. Okay? So there were did lots of farming. So they have found somewhere lots of what you call silos. They call them. It's where they storage the corn.
Right. Storage silos, yeah.
There, they let you climb to the top. Yeah. And they had beside that they had those small windows at the top. Is where you used to observe. They use each window as a telescope. Instead of a telescope, they use a window to look up. They could observe Venus, probably Venus, the star of Venus. They could observe the North Star. That was for them.
The nunnery.
That was the babe layer.
That's just one aspect.
Yeah, you need 30, 40
Let's take a look here.
You never know when you're going to need one. This is the church. Well, that's what they call it in modern.
Looks like there's a Yvonne bottle of water right here.
Oh, I think we ought to go in there.
I'll go with you.
I don't think it's going to
Hey, windows make higher learning easier, man.
Well, I listened to the other guy. He said this is a school,
Oh, really?
not a.
Everybody has their own version,
Well,
probably.
he said that the writing's on the wall that they described, or
Do you want to go down there?
Do you?
figured
Yeah,
out.
I'll go. Hold it there. I'll go see if it turns.
Be
Want me to hold
careful.
the camera?
I'll take your picture.
This isn't bad right here, Mike. There's nothing on the wall. That was just a cricket you saw.
Okay.
Okay, go a little further.
Cool. Wait.
What's that right there?
The stairs.
Huh? No,
Good
but-
stairs.
Well, I can't see. Are you guys coming?
Yeah, I'm coming.
I mean, is Mike coming?
I might turn it off. My light is. I'm not sure how long it's going to last.
Can I hold
Go
it?
on, let's go. I'm coming.
All right. You want me to help you up that? It's kind of slick.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Watch out for big spiders.
Well, there's no spiders. I think it's just a cricket you saw.
The trip.
Can you shine
Crickets
it?
like the dark. Something's burned in here. Wait, let Mike come over here.
Here, just
We're kinda
stick this
tight.
up in there.
Here, hold the light there. I'll go find it.
This is filming, so put your hand
Oh,
up.
it is filming?
It just ends right here.
Is it?
It's just another.
What is that right there by your foot? Look.
Well, let me get to
No,
the
turn around.
I am.
No, there's some little
It's a
carved
little
thing.
Chuck Moole.
And there's
Right
also,
by your left foot.
and
drag
by your
down
left foot too.
Gosh, here. It's a broken chalk mold.
Here.
Gosh, my
Give me
glasses.
that one down there. By
Yeah,
your
there's
foot.
another
Hold
one.
this, and then I'll
Wait,
get to
let me-
hold this and.
I'm trying to get my glasses out of my hand so I have a free hand. There's another piece of that gray chuck.
Do you want that
I don't think we'll get them out of here without getting caught.
I don't think they're real.
Oh,
They're
these aren't
just
real.
souvenir things.
Yeah, they're just made from
But
this.
here, we can, yeah, this is made out of like cement or
Yeah, this
something.
is just.
Well, so is this whole place.
Here, there's the other part, the other head to the other.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
Anything over
No,
there?
that's it.
Kind of fun, huh?
I like this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I like this.
This is slippery.
I like to keep going in here.
There's another cricket. These crickets like the dark, see? Do you want to peek down there?
Yeah. Since we're here, can we walk down there just a little bit?
Oh, it's slick.
Yeah, I know it's slick. I'm okay.
Are we taking them?
Oh, look. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Are you just leaving them? Somebody might come. Stick them in your
If
back.
we go a little.
Here, do you want me to carry some?
I'm full on this.
I can't fit another thing.
These probably aren't even worth keeping. I mean,
Oh yeah, they're a little souvenir for the kids.
$5 if we buy one.
So, $5 is $5.
That thing starts flashing in there, it's going to turn off on us.
We're okay. We can find our way around. And you need to look for us here, Gal.
Okay, let me get down here and I'll shine it back. It ends right here. This is like a spiral staircase or something. Ooh!
What ends?
Let's get out of here.
A little bat just flew out. Flew right over your heads. It ends right there too.
Okay, what is there, a staircase?
All right. That got Mike going. That was great.
Bats. Bats there. Yeah, there was bats.
A bat came flying out.
Well, my friends, anyway, here we don't need to get inside of this excavation.
That's all right.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Nose guy.
Now, are those teeth again?
Those are noses.
This is where we got attacked by the bat. It's a quaddle. Doing
I don't know
what?
what he was
Prophesying.
Maybe he's what he was saying. We don't know what he was saying. But it's supposed to be speaking about a jaguar here. See, head of a jaguar. There's somebody here sitting down here.
Uh-huh.
Look at this guy here sitting down in lotus. How do you call this? Lotus? Lotus?
Lattice?
Lotus position. Fetal.
Fetal position.
And this
No,
guy,
no.
he's
Fetal
Lotus.
an expert.
No,
It's a lotus.
You can drill a hole and hang
Locust
it
position?
no. He was supposed to be sitting down, meditating.
Oh,
Or meditating, sitting down with
Scared of
cross legs and cross arms. That would
He
represent,
said
that would
that
be
guy's a
life.
bad guy. He's going down. He's I'm a good guy.
I swear, when we see a black hand down, what that means, what that's supposed to be.
Death?
A black hand down, right. How about a red hand pointing up?
That must be going up.
Life.
That's right. Remember at Tulum, all the red hands.
Who said that during the Romans? Caesar said that, no?
Oh, yeah. You're dead.
That, you're dead. Life. D-diamond. Somewhere they have found, they have found.
Take a rest, guys.
To the right. I mean the left.
Here we are going up the old temple.
Chocmo inside the
My
big
hands are all
temple.
gross from those oranges.
That's the jaguar with the red eyes.
That's not why we climbed all these stairs.
Here's a little hole right here, Jim. Mike, move your one.
Just a minute.
Jaguar made out of just a
That's through a little tiny hole. You can kind of see it a little bit.
Let's keep going with you.
I'm out of here.
This is looking down, straight down that pyramid. We just climbed up.
That's mine. You want it?
Look at the ball court over there. Looking down on top of the big temple. There's the other one.
Let's go around the other side.
Okay. There's the smaller temple. On top of this temple still, there's the columns,
I think all those guys
1,000
have told
columns.
Pretty distinctly. We don't go in there.
There's something over there, I can't remember what it is.
I bet you it's pretty firm here, though, it seems.
Yeah.
The way that they all are, they seem...
Was it just our...
I don't know. We
Was it-
should have asked Ernie.
Was it my pestering him about going in there? Or?
I don't know, must have been.
I was just giving him the business. Didn't think I'd do anything to piss him off.
I don't know.
Yeah, it seems kind of weird.
Shine the light down here, Diane. Ladder, I see a ladder.
We need to shine the light.
Diane's taking our picture.
We're looking in the hall. That's a Mayan bathroom, right?
Down the steps, dragging in from the big temple. We're way up there. This is our Robinson Crusoe. Here's our guide Carlos. There's the other boat of people. There's Carlos, he's fixing our lunch. There's the dueling cameras, Greg and Mike. Here's the group. Hello, group. Yeah, turn around, Jim.
This is Heidi's phone.
Heidi doesn't have it.
This is our Robinson Crusoe. And we just got back. We fished, snorkeled, scuba dived. There's the barracuda that we caught. And they've already filleted that barracuda. We caught another fish called the hogfish. Carlos speared it with his spear gun, and then we got 4 conch shells, and this is Carlos cleaning it. We went diving for 35 minutes at about 80 feet and really had an enjoyable time. Here's the helpers fixing the dinner.
Wait, I'm gonna get the music set up first. Where would we like our tunes played? Like here on the rock?
We're gonna eat right around.
Where would we?
You guys do good work.
Anywhere here is good. What's he making over there?
I think he's making ceviche.
I think that's avocados. That looks like
There's a lot of limes down there on the ground.
Yeah. They're cutting up the stuff for ceviche.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't need enough fish.
Not too raw. We like fish from the sea. Tell you what, that conch is raw.
We'll eat anything.
What? You were big on that
ceviche.
Very good. So maybe I like it raw.
I think it'd be surprised. He's making some.
Yeah, you need to try the ceviche. Good ceviche.
I did try the ceviche up there. What we had was
You tried it at the restaurant, right? At the Hirosol?
yeah, I can handle the shrimp.
Yeah, that wasn't very good.
Carlos says he makes the best ceviche.
Yep. Well, I just so far Carlos hasn't let it wrong once. No, we got a lot of problems with Carlos.
Echar algo ahí que caiga lumbre tú.
Esa madre está haciendo uno más. Tomorrow sounds
That looks good, huh?
It looks wonderful. I'm preserving the moment.
Well, I think he's doing the same thing.
Carlos is cooking the fish in the frying pan there and putting it up on that beautiful leaf plate. Here's the one who's been preparing a lot of this.
There's our chef.
These are the kids who caught all the lobsters that we
Are
bought.
they right there? Those guys?
I think I scared them away with the camera. This is where we did the Robinson Crusoe.
Dale, arráncalo.
Right in there. Right by a Mayan ruin, lighthouse. These lighthouses are every couple of miles down the shoreline from Cancun to Tulum. They would navigate by canoes. It's a lighthouse for canoes for the Mayans.
That little hole, you look straight at it coming in.
Last morning at Acapulco. Just gonna go over to Cozumel. Beautiful red over there, sunrise. As the morning goes on, that gets a lot prettier too. What a beautiful place. I'd like to come here again. Here's our luggage before we left for Cancun. At the airport, checking in. Ann and Greg waiting to get on the plane, making obscene jokes. The infamous airplane that everyone wanted a picture of. Mexican customs, lots of people and long lines. That was an experience. The girls waiting as we rented the Volkswagens. This is a view out of the 6th floor of the Girasol at the Caribbean side. The same, just different angle. This is the lagoon side of Cancun, looking back towards Cancun City. Here's Ann and Greg as we went out for a stroll in Cancun. These were little shops where everyone wanted you to come in and buy stuff. Of course, Brad has my wife in a bear hug there. This is Senor Frogs. This was the highlight of my trip. There's a popcorn fight, I think. Brad, Jim, and Greg waiting on Sunday morning to go to Akumal, showing off their muscles. The little cabana at the Girasol where we ate with Mr. Precious over there. Here we are at Akumal, looking out of the master bedroom window at the ocean and the beach. The same. That boat out there was filled with sand. This is looking out of the bathroom window. These are just some knickknacks that were on the shelf inside the bedroom. This is a place, I can't remember the name of it, where we went snorkeling. We were just getting ready to go. And here we are, just getting out and getting dressed. Greg got bit by a fish. Then we went to Tulum. This was the main temple at Tulum. There's a lizard on that rock in the middle, posing for us. This room where Diane's just leaving contained several graves of important high priests or people, and I'm not certain what the significance of this building was. This is a room where he told us they were doing sacrifices of small animals and birds. This is the window through which the sun would shine at the spring and fall equinox, indicating planting and harvesting seasons. And this is Pepe, that's his nickname. He was our Mormon guide. He was very knowledgeable and very good. He had a good spirit about him. The whole area of Tulum really had a good spirit about it. And here's the group outside the wall at the main temple overlooking the ocean. Again, the big temple. Back at Akumal, our first day diving, this is Jose and El Capitan. I don't remember his name, but they were both wonderful. There's Greg and Shireen and Jim getting ready to dive for the first time in Akumal. And Brad and Heidi taking it easy, kicking back. After we dived, we had to get up here and wash off all our gear. Diane didn't make it on the dive, so we dived out in the lagoon in the bay there, and we had a rainstorm and these beautiful rainbows. I hurried out of the water to take the pictures of these rainbows, and of course everyone was cheering me on to hurry up to take the pictures, and they did turn out nice. You could see the whole rainbow from end to end. And then about that time Diane came dragging back in. I kind of left her in the dirt so I could get those pictures. There's the group with Herman, the dive shop manager, and a very nice guy. He helped us out a lot. This was the Papaya Republic restaurant at Aventuras Akumal, I believe. And it was a very nice restaurant with a great atmosphere. We were sitting right on the beach. It got a little chilly, and Ann and Diane went for a walk, and there they are. This is the pathway out of the Papaya Republic. This was the next morning, a beautiful sunrise, wedge-shaped, really pretty, out of the balcony in the master bedroom. And this is just a few minutes later. It was really, really pretty that day. We went to Chichen Itza and stopped at this gas station, and there's Ann and Diane by the Volkswagens. These were some black birds, probably crows of some type. They weren't the vultures that we frequently saw. Now we're at Chichen Itza, and this is the ball court where they played games and lost lives. And we don't really know the whole significance, but they had to hit a small rubber ball through the hoop there, not using their hands. This is a look back down the ball court. Ann and Greg. This is kind of a crappy picture of what our infamous guide called the happy faces. Don't really know what they were. And here's just some engravings on some of the stonework. I don't really know the significance. This one, however, shows a warrior holding the head of another warrior. This is the sacrificial cenote, where they would throw people in and sacrifice their lives. This is the Temple of the Warriors, with the square columns in the front with carvings of warriors on them. Inside this building is the famous picture of the light and dark people. And this is Ernie, our infamous guide. This is a picture out of the Book of Mormon showing Chocmool and the temple of Kukulkan in the background with Diane and I standing there. Here's another Chocmool. Chocmool was their rain god. He was lying down in this position to receive blessings from Kukulkan in his bowl. And this is a representation of Kukulkan, or Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent. You can see the feathers and the snake's mouth with the human head. And here's a picture of a large nose on the corner of a building with a face behind it. And this is possibly representing, heritage, large noses from possibly Jerusalem. And here's the other side of the Temple of the Warriors with round columns. It's the area of 1,000 columns, they called it. Here's the Temple of Kukulkan, and showing an unrestored portion in the back. There's Diane coming down the steps of the Temple of the Warriors, trying to show how steep they were. This is a building with all the girls standing in the doors, and Ernie told us it was for 3 brothers, but he was an idiot, so I don't really know the significance. This is the Astronomical Observatory. What a grand place this is. These people were very sophisticated. This picture depicts a horse, showing that the people of this time were aware of horses, possibly even had horses before the Spaniards came. And this may very well be a baptismal font. There's Diane by the Astronomical Observatory. This is a view of the Temple of the Warriors as seen from the top of the Temple of Kukulkan. And Diane with her head in the serpent's mouth at the bottom of the Temple of Kukulkan. This is after we left. In the city of Chichen Itza, there's a pig at the gas station. And now we're back at Akumal. This is the archway depicting the turtles. Akumal means place of the turtle. And we're back on the beach at the Via, and everyone's just taking it easy in the sunshine. This is Dino, Artemia, and Maria, the housekeepers of Mayan descent. Very cute people. Maria is wonderful, and Artemia fixed us a lobster dinner to beat all. This is our Robinson Crusoe day. That's Carlos in the boat and his helper and Diane. After we had been scuba diving and fishing and snorkeling, we came to this beach and had a great time. Carlos in the middle. He fixed us a wonderful meal. And Diane says how much fun she's having. This is the ferries, the Mexico and the Mexico II, that go from Playa del Carmen to Cozumel. And there's the cattle boat that we all got on to go scuba diving at Cedar Pass and Chonkanab. I believe that we have Jim here scuba diving, and Shireen. These were all taken at Akumal, I believe. And this is Jim again. That's Jim kicking sand in my face as we went through that little tunnel thing. And this is Greg and Ann. And Greg, with water in his mask, as always. Brad and Heidi, I believe. I believe that's Brad out of air, sucking air in a hurry, because when you're out of air, you're out of fun. And that must be Brad again. And Heidi, I think. Just some bubbles. There's one of those striped yellow kinds of fish in the middle of that picture. Being underwater, you lose all the colors without a flash, which presented a problem. And there's a blue or yellow tang, I don't remember, in that picture. Pretty fish in amongst that coral. There's another fish in there, I believe. This is in the car wash cenote from inside the cavern looking out. It doesn't really give you any depiction of the beautiful area. The trees up above the water there were so pretty. It was all green jungle and all of these brown roots right here sticking down into this crystal clear water. And there were little fish in there and turtles and you name it.